War. War never changes.
All right, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, to the first ever War Never Changes. We're dubbing this what? Season 2, Episode 1? Is that what we decided last year?
That's right.
New and improved. You'll notice the layout is slightly different. I did the math, and it's about 16% more fill than before. You'll see it. Phil has no idea what I'm talking about because Phil hasn't seen the new layout, but of course I have because I've been meticulously working on it. The intro will be fixed at some point. It's still the old intro from last season. We will have something new hopefully next week. We'll have to wait and see. But we are back. Happy 2021. My name is Jim. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the strongest guy I know, the tallest guy I know, Phil McCracken. How are you, sir?
I'm great, buddy. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I gotta say it's been a rough week. And obviously, on a personal note, I think most of my friends know, and the people watching this, we had to say goodbye to our dear Chloe. You'll notice her bed has been moved. It's gone. So is she. So we're adapting to life without a dog, which is different. So been watching the speed runs this week. I'm repping my official Summer Games Done Quick 2020 shirt. I'm watching Awesome Games Done Quick all week. This is one of my many weeks off to just relax and get emotionally better and play some games and watch some games and chillax. The country is seemingly melting down as we speak. At least here in Orlando, I'm looking out the window. Everything looks great. Although I know in our nation's capital, things aren't so well. But we are not here for that, Phil. We are here to talk about games. And this show would not be complete without having nothing to talk about.
That's right. Should we introduce our commercial sponsors, Nobody and Nobody?
Today's video is brought to you by no one, because no one's watching this and no one cares. Happy 2021, dying of fire. No. Well, let me lower this light a little bit. The thing is, the reality is, there we go. I don't want to look so pasty white. I had to put hair gel in my hair today. This is the first time. There we go. I had to put some hair gel in because my hair is a mess. And I thought I was gonna text it to you. Actually, I will because I got to do some editing on the other end. I'm gonna text you what the back of my hair looks like, and when I see your reaction, so I'm gonna text you. You're gonna go look at your phone. When I see your reaction, I am going to overlay that image on this feed. Do you know what I mean? Because I got to do some editing anyway. So let me stumble through the new iPhone and send you the back of my hair. It's coming now. And I want to hear your reaction. It's coming any second.
Dude, dude, please,
It's
please.
it's time for a haircut. I think it's time for a haircut, Phil. That's all I can say.
You gotta do something here, man. You're looking bad. You're looking bad. Oh, if only you poor fucks could see what I'm seeing right
No, no, I'm
now.
overlaying it. They're looking at it now. It's just this
Uh,
only on the screen. It's just our voice in the background.
what is that, a bread wrapper? You, you want to do a loaf of Wonder Bread and put it in your hair, bro?
No, it's a little. My loving wife was gracious enough to let me use one of her hair ties, and she did my hair for me. But I have to get rid of it. It's too long. There will be a change next week. I don't know what it's going to be, but there will be a change.
Are you going to go to a barber or have a barber come to
I
you
don't
and sit
know.
out front?
I don't know what I'm going to sit out front. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's barber services that are doing that right now.
Roaming bar. I don't know, dude. I got to figure something out. It's time. This experiment has gone on long enough, and it is time to say goodbye to the man bun. That's all I could say. It's time.
Dude, I've been saying this for almost a year that this is too much.
It's a lot going on. It's more to follow. More to follow. But now that everybody's tuned out, we could talk about games.
Ooh,
5 minutes in, now it's time to talk about video games. And I want to start off this week was some news that dropped while you were on vacation last week.
Mhm.
Skyrim, well, I shouldn't say Skyrim. Elder Scrolls is making a television show. Did you know this?
No.
Okay, so it was a partnership that was reached via Netflix, I believe, and I could be incorrect because the information was a little incomplete at the time. I believe it's the same crew that was involved with The Witcher. Not saying it's the same actors, the writers, whatever, it's just that same like production studio. Regardless if that part is true or not, it is confirmed there will be an Elder Scrolls television show. Now, I said Skyrim because really the last 10 plus years of our life, Skyrim is Elder Scrolls, minus Elder Scrolls Online, but even that has some Skyrim in it. My question for you, because you are the definitive lore buff on definitely Skyrim, for sure. What is your initial thought on this? And then what do we need to see to what you being the fan, like what do you need to see? Like what should this show be about? Rehash of the game, not the game. What interests you in the Elder Scrolls universe?
I think, I think the canon events that took place in the scope and frame of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim,
Okay.
I believe that is a truly interesting and compelling storyline. And I feel like the interaction with the Thieves Guild, which I know you can do in other parts of, Elder Scrolls lore, just the different factions, the story that's going on, dragons are in right now. I feel like that would honestly be the smart thing to do. And there's a lot of like background, like lore. You could dive into like old school Parthenax and like kind of his journey and Alduin. I don't know. I feel like that would be good as long as it's not like, I don't know, based on a fucking Argonian or something, or
Yeah.
or a Dunmer or a Bosmer. I don't really care. I would like to see it be based on an orc or or a Nord or a high elf or some an actual interesting role. What if it was just a punch cat? What if it was just a punch cat running around?
So yeah,
Do you know what a punch cat is?
see that's what my see that was what my question was, and that's what I wanted to ping you on. I know that there were a lot of like epic tales inside of the Skyrim game. Major sagas unveiled. Obviously, the idea of this dragonborn coming back after however long, dragons coming, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that? Oh, did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I thought you were the apple. I was
Well,
talking and you were like this.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
What a douche I
No,
am.
it's fine. Whenever you're ready, we'll record our show. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm giving you a hard time.
I'm all
My
yours.
question to you was the Elder Scrolls. Obviously, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of like major events that happened. Do you want to
hmm
see those again on TV, or are you content with like? Do we need to see a Dragonborn TV show, basically a reenacting of Skyrim? Do we need to see like the Oblivion Gates come back? Like, do we need any of that, or are we okay with just like we already have an established universe, and we're going to tell an independent fantasy story within those confines?
Well, maybe we rewind and go back to the Great War or the events leading up to that. I don't know. I personally think
Yep.
I would watch I would watch a rehashing of basically the video game Skyrim. I believe that there's enough compelling canon lore in there to make a fantastic show if they hire the right people. Not David
I was
Benioff.
just gonna say the Game of Thrones guys are great at adapting this stuff, so maybe this could be their redemption.
No,
No,
stay away.
no, don't do this. Okay, so yeah, so then okay, that was what I was thinking. Was when I realized that this was gonna come to fruition, I'm like, okay, The Witcher show I don't think was as well received as people wanted it to be. I think I didn't watch it. This is how little I know of it. It seems to me they took a very weird deep dive, very twisted narrative. There's a lot of time jumps. I think if you're going to want to do a show like this, you need to appeal to a wider audience. And I think you can still throw in those fun little zingers for the true fanboys, but I think it needs to be more generic, if that makes sense.
Yes. It needs to be palatable for a broad audience.
Yeah.
And that is why I loved Skyrim so much, because it's a very simple story that my dumb brain can handle. Oh, there used to be dragons, but then there weren't anymore for a while, but now there are.
Right.
And this is why. And by the way, you've got dragon blood in you, but it doesn't matter because you can shoot magic out of your hands.
Right.
And hey, all made sense to me, baby.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what direction they go. I think maybe the Mandalorian show has showed people that you can take a very exciting known quantity in the Star Wars universe and put a unique spin on it and still make it fun, but not just a rehash of the old stuff. You can take, like, everybody knows who Luke and Darth Vader and stuff are. Like, you understand that universe. Now we're going to tell an original story that has nothing to do with them. So I kind of feel like with Skyrim, like, there's a lot to work on there. And I know you didn't play as long as I did. I finally did burn out after a little over 200 hours of Elder Scrolls Online. But there's some really interesting stories going on in the world of Tamriel, or wherever, whatever part of the world you want to look at. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and the interconnection of the races is really cool too.
Yeah, Tamriel is just one continent on Nern.
I was gonna say, I
Nern
mean,
is
like, that's how little I
Nern-
know. Like, how about even a flashback to, like, some of the old stuff with the Dweemers? Like, that would be a cool show. Dwemer, that would be cool, right?
back when they were actually snow elves. Oh, dude, telling the story, or I'm sorry, the Falmer were snow elves.
Come
Jeez,
on, Phil. Jeez.
telling the story of the Dwemer, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
Like a storyline that takes place exclusively in the world of whatchamacallits and what happened to them.
that's what I
Because
mean.
they just randomly vanished. They're just gone one day.
Well, there's definitely enough gaps, I think, in the story and timeline that they could find some cool things to fill in. I would love a show on just the Blades, like when the Blades were prominent. Maybe it's a show on them of, I don't know.
No,
You don't like the
no,
Blades?
dude, they're not. Dude, no, like they're not compelling enough to have a whole fucking story told about
What
them.
if it was like the Blades were protecting the king, but one of them was a spy, and it was like a mystery?
Oh, so you mean like Skyrim?
Yeah, but better, but 30 frames a second consistently.
Which emperor would you want? Titus Mede the first? Like who do you
I
want?
want Patrick Stewart, Septum, Tyrium Septum.
Oh, Uriel Sep.
You're
Okay.
whatever. Patrick Stewart. That's all I know.
Who do you want to play the protagonist? Do you want a serious like muscle-bound action
Oh.
star, or do you want someone who's kind of like funny?
Yeah, see, that's tonally. I want it to be like a true warrior knight. Like, I would like Brienne Tar from Game of Thrones. Like, she would be a great, like some big ripped chick, or some, like, even like the mountain or something. I would love that.
Yes. Hold on.
But they're not going to
Hold on.
have that. It's
If you're listening right now, casting crew for this show, do not cast a female lead. Not because a female like you could play a
Here we
girl in the game,
go.
but because no one will watch it. Okay.
Oh, boo! I would watch it. I would watch it. Hey, at the end of the day, who defeated the Night King? A girl. Okay? A girl did. She stabbed him. It exploded. 10 years built up to one horrible failure of a moment of a TV show. But it was a girl who did it. I don't really care about the guy or the girl. Realistically, I think it'd be most entertaining if it was a party set on a mission to do something, kind of like the Fellowship of the Ring, where you had a group of people. Throw a night elf in there, throw an Argonian in there, throw a Khajiit, whatever, get an orc in there, and they all go do something
Dude,
together.
actually, you know what? I would watch this show if the chick who plays Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, if she was the main character, I'd watch the shit out of
Gina
that.
Carano, cyborg. That's her. She's an MMA fighter. That's how I know her.
Oh, okay.
Used to be an MMA fighter. I think she's now a Hollywood actress. She made it. She gets her own show now. Remains to be seen. But anyways, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of get your take on that, because I know we didn't talk about it, and I know that you're still, well, you, as of recently, are you still digging Skyrim? Like, are you still playing Skyrim on PlayStation 5, or did you bounce out of that?
Dude, I haven't touched a video game since before I left.
Okay. So, brief segue into the speed runs, which I talked about at the beginning. Obviously, we're up in the shirt. It's going on as we speak right now. It's all week long. Did you watch the entire Skyrim speed run?
I watched the first hour and 16 minutes and 17 seconds of it, and then I had to go hop on a group Skype call.
What did you think of the guy playing? And how did you, because you don't really deal with the speedrun universe, and that's something that I'm like a huge fan of, obviously. I'm obsessed over it. I don't speedrun myself, but
Nuclear had probably the most annoying voice and face I've ever seen. The entire time he was on screen, I wanted to hit him, and every
oh,
time he talked, I hit him. However, extremely talented video game video gamer, and as a hardcore Skyrim fan, I have nothing but respect for the fact that he literally fucking memorized that entire game step by step.
pretty crazy, yeah. Some of those speedruns are cool. It's cool when you actually get to see something you understand, because a lot of these speedruns are from games that were like before our time or something you never played. So having a speed run like tomorrow on Thursday, they're doing a speed run of Halo 3, which that's a game I memorized. I mean, I played a lot of Halo 3, so I
Are
would.
you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I definitely. I'm very excited. And I've seen some of these before. It's not like it's the first one I've ever seen, but every speedrunner has their own take on it. They do implement new strategies. They break the heck out of the game. But it's fun to watch that because, I don't know, as you understand the game. Now, that Skyrim one was interesting, though, because it was a glitchless speedrun. So there was no cheating. It was just very methodical playthrough of, he didn't teleport anywhere. He didn't create any exploit glitches, teleport to the final boss, whatever. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. It was interesting to see him beat the game as a level one character.
Yeah, that was insane. I remember reading before that some of the levels did adjust to your character level. So like certain dungeons and stuff, if they seem too hard, coming back later may not make them easier because you would be stronger and the enemies would be stronger. But yeah, it didn't make Alduin look that tough considering a level one guy with some like sword just basically wailed him to death. It did take a little bit away from the excitement, I won't lie. Okay, next topic. We should be getting in the next week, it may be as early as this Friday. Halo said they will have a major, major update on development in the first or second week of January. So within a week or so now, we are going to get a massive dump of Halo news. And it's been some time since we talked about it, but what are you expecting to see? What do you think we're going to see? What just hot takes? What's going on in that beautiful permed head of yours?
I want to talk about that, but do you hear that?
Hear what?
I think that's the sound of
Here we go.
79% of Cyberpunk's player base leaving.
Oh man.
All right, now we'll dive into Halo.
Wow. I was gonna bring up Cyberpunk, but okay, you want to do Cyberpunk first? That's fine.
No. I just wanted to tell a funny joke and then move
I
on
mean,
from
I
it
did
immediately.
look. I mean, I have the prop right here. I was ready to talk about it, but we can wait. Okay. Tell me about. Let's talk about Halo because there's probably not a whole lot to say, but I love Halo, and I just mentioned it in the speed runs. But what do you think? Is this a good time for Halo to jump back into the fray? Because of Cyberpunk being a failure, people are ready for the next big thing. Are we willing to forgive what Halo did? Because Cyberpunk came out in a rush state, but Halo wisely pulled the plug.
Yeah. Um, we will forgive, but we will not forget. I speak for the entire Halo fan base, the entire
All
community.
seven of
I
us.
speak for every,
He's our champion.
I speak for all tens of us when I say that, dude. What I want to know is, are they going to come out and say, "Hey, we scrapped it," like we scrapped it and started over in engine, basically. We modified engine. Like, I want to know what it is that they did, and I just want to know, like, kind of a percentage wise where they're at the stage of development. Like, are they 80% done? Are they 65%
Yeah.
done? Uh, I know that they probably won't tell us that, but I also want to know, like, if they're like, hey, this game is going to be a piece of shit, but look at this awesome collector's edition Xbox Series X available for pre-order now. All things are forgiven, baby.
Yeah, so that's where gaming in general, and this is taking a step back from Halo, but gaming in general has always been a very cryptic process. You have this very weird have and have not dichotomy we've talked a lot about on the show, of people who know things, the behind closed door, the secret meetings. They are not always very transparent. I don't expect them to be either, but gaming is this very weird mix of people in this small little power circle who like to flex their knowledge, and it's weird. I don't know how much of an explanation we really should expect or demand from a company that realized the product they were getting ready to sell to us sucked. I don't know how
Right.
much we expect. You know, when Nintendo delayed Far Cry, or not Far Cry, when Nintendo delayed Metroid Prime 4, I was going to say Far Cry 4, when they delayed it, they said, "Hey, we're working on it," and then they were quiet, and then about a year and a half later, they said, "Yeah, we're working on it again." And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. But when that came out, people were like, "Why? We demand to know. Show us early access of the game. Show us the gameplay. Let us understand why it's not good." Blah blah. No one expected that. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's because Microsoft opened themselves up to criticism or not, but like they don't really. They could just say, "Hey, it's going to come out when it's going to come out," and they don't really owe us anything. The fact that they're being open is interesting in of itself, I think.
Yeah. No, I feel like the whole it's going to come out when it's going to come out because we want to do it right thing is fucking played out as shit because guess what that didn't work on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like the gaming community is pissed enough to where developers are like, hey, maybe we shouldn't continue to alienate these people that give us $60.
So yeah, the fact that Halo is going to be an Xbox Game Pass game, and most people who own an Xbox, I don't know what the percentage is. I would say probably half. I feel like own Game Pass at this point. You're not really paying for it per se. I mean, you are, but you're not. But you are. Whatever. I just wonder. They haven't like I mean, there probably are pre-orders out in the wild. I'm sure there are. I mean, I'm assuming a lot of retailers may have just said, you know what, we can't hold your money this long. We have to refund you because we don't even have anything to like hold it against, except games. I'm sure GameSpot, that's past GameStop. I'm sure GameStop still has some poor bastards pre-order money tied up they can't get back. I'm sure of it. But for everybody
What do you
else,
mean you want that $5 back? Fuck off.
but I'm
We need
sure
this $5.
I'm sure if you went to buy this from like Amazon or Best Buy or whatever, they wouldn't even take your money. They're like, "Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you want a PlayStation 6? Get in line because we don't even know what that is yet." Like, so I kind of
Right.
feel like there's not a lot of money tied up in this, just a lot of hurt feelings. And that is a challenge in of itself. But I kind of hope that when Halo does come out to talk, I don't necessarily feel like they need to fall on the sword anymore. The next thing they say, and I know this is true of every announcement really, it really needs to be important and it really needs to show progress, or just say nothing and don't talk about it until you're ready. Don't keep teasing that we have some big announcement. Like, I can't see this game being fixed in that short amount of time, but don't lead us down this path again of like, we have this huge game to show you and knowing it's going to suck.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Hey guys, we just wanted to check in and let you know that this shit is still terrible.
That's what I mean. So like, you look at like with Cyberpunk, perfect example. You look at, that game, that was deceitful what they did. They hid that game from current gen consoles, you on your Xbox One themed console, the majority of people who currently own the older gen consoles. They intentionally did not show off that game until it was quote unquote too late. Shame on the media for hyping it up and getting everybody all wound up for it without knowing the full picture. They're just as much to blame in a sense. But very surprising to me that now that game is out. At least in Halo's case, they did pump the brakes. They're like, whoa, we are definitely not ready to do this.
Fair enough.
So, speaking of, now I can use my prop again. Cyberpunk 2077. I'm holding the definitive edition here, guys. This is the PC Definitive Edition. Definitive because I have been playing this game about 20 hours. I have yet to meet Johnny Silverhand. I'm still in tutorial zone land, doing every possible side mission. I've already paid off my debt to the Ripper Doc in full. I've already gotten upgrades. I'm still going around the city fighting random gangs, doing whatever. I have had 0 crashes. I've had a couple wonky things happen, nothing horrible yet. I feel horrible for you and everybody else who is not playing this game on PC because it is a gem. It really is.
Have you banged Judy yet?
Don't even know who that is, so no.
You haven't. You've been playing for 20 hours. You know what? Never mind.
I
Never
have,
mind.
let me tell you what I've done. This maybe will put you in context. I did the first mission where you had to go get this device from another gang. You made a deal with a rival gang, and there was like an overthrow. I think the guy's name was Brick and Dutch.
Yeah.
And Brick overthrew Dutch or the other way around. You went in there using my insane negotiating skills. I hacked that little chip the girl gave us. I backstabbed the police. I worked a deal with these guys. I got my device. There was a big shootout at the end, and I escaped freely. I was safe. No one got killed. Everybody was happy.
So you got the 10,000 credits off that chip?
I gave them over. I hacked the chip so that it wasn't traceable, but they found out where it was anyway. And I left. I gave the guy his money. I didn't care. I rescued the rival gang leader who was he was like someone like he was in this like back room. I saved him. And I fought my way out, and I was happy, and I won.
Yeah.
That's the only main mission I've done.
I just killed everyone.
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay, so
Every.
okay, let me ask you. This is what I wanted to get at. This is what I think is so cool about this game. So when I went in, first of all, the stats. I know you haven't played in a while. I put most of my stats into intelligence, the hacking aspect of things. So I get a lot of dialogue options popping up where it's like, oh, you have an intelligence of 2, so you can like talk about like a technical schematic, or you can talk about something in a way that they'll understand. Do you have that kind of option for whatever your build is?
Sometimes, but I'm spreading the love around. I'm upgrading everything
Okay.
basically equally.
Okay, so when you went in, you meet up with that guy. He tells you to sit down on the couch, and he says, "Hey, I am going to, basically he's starting to hustle you." I had an option of standing up, drawing my gun, or using my intelligence to calm him down, and that's what I ended up using was my intelligence. And I talked him off the cliff, and we resolved it peacefully. Okay, so you drew your gun and killed everybody.
Oh, dude, I murdered everyone.
Okay, so that's cool. So when you got to the end, then everybody's dead. You didn't befriend anybody from that gang then, so they're all dead. In your world,
No,
they're all murdered.
yeah, I didn't rescue that guy. I didn't find out about it until after the mission was over.
Okay, so on my game, I rescued that guy. And the guy who was kind of I forget his name. He was kind of the guy, your tour guide as you walked into the lair to meet with the gang leader. He gave me his inhaler, which gives me a strength buff, and it gives me a little bit of extra health when I do my normal health injection. But he's my friend now. Like, I could go visit him, I think. I don't know if he's like, I'm going to meet him again, but we left on very good terms. So that's really interesting.
So you killed all his buddies, and he's still your
I
friend?
didn't kill any. No, the only people I killed was the cops when they showed up.
Oh, you killed them?
Yeah,
You killed the Militech people?
all of them. Yeah, me and the gang teamed up and killed Militech. So you didn't do that. See, that's interesting. When Militech
Nope.
showed up, for you, they're like, "Hey, thanks."
Yeah, yeah, and then I banged that chick.
Oh no, Oh, that's the girl you're talking about. Oh, in my game, she got killed.
No, 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 no. No, I'm talking about a different girl, but
Oh.
that chick, the chick that you get the chip from, yeah, I banged her.
Oh, so the chick that I got the chip from, she got killed by the guy who she was given the pat down to under the freeway. He's the new leader of that group, and she's dead. That's really interesting. See, I wonder now. I wonder. We'll have to play more. I'll check in with you because like I said, I know you're way ahead of me. That's really interesting to me because seems to be a radical change. The fact that like I'm not talking just in that instant little universe of like, oh, you know this person, whatever. Like in my world, the Militech people hate me. In my world, I'm friends with this rival gang. In your world, the rival gang's gone.
Oh, dude, wiped off the face of the earth.
Interesting. Okay. So I like that, and I gotta say on the computer it runs phenomenally. I've had, like I said, I've had no issues at all. The only thing I turned off was the lighting, the advanced lighting, the ray tracing. It gave me a headache. I turned it off, but I could have used it. Like performance wise, the computer would still run. I just didn't need. I don't like it, but we'll wait to see at the end of next year. But man, this could be my game of the year. Like it is when I sit down and play this game and I put my headphones on, I am in that world and it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal.
The little bits where it works, it's like one of the funnest games I've played in a long, long time. So I wish that I could utilize it properly. Unfortunately, um, I got to get through there and download some patches and try to play again. They should have done it by now.
Yeah, there's a few. I know that CD Projekt Red said that they had a couple big patches coming later in the year. I think originally they had said January, February. That might have been delayed slightly. I'm not entirely sure. Um, I know you and I have always not seen eye to eye, primarily because you're like 14 feet tall. But you and I have not,
Hmm.
you and I have not seen eye to eye on graphics in general, and in terms of like, if a game doesn't look good, I can't play it. Like I can't, I don't, I still
Right.
don't know how you were able to play Skyrim on Switch. Like it makes me ill. But the fact that you can get enjoyment out of it and still be transported that world despite how bad it looks, it's good, and I'm glad that people are getting some enjoyment out of it. It's just frustrating that the experience this is just as a gamer now. I'm sad that people can't experience the game the way that I'm experiencing it because it holds up. It holds all the awards and everything, all the hype and everything on PC. It's real. It really is real. But unfortunately, everywhere else it's not, and that sucks. I think this company is forever doomed. I think you're going to see some major, major shakeups here very soon. Their stock's in the toilet. I would be surprised if they make another game after this, honestly. I really would.
CD Projekt
I
Red.
would not be surprised if this company dissolved. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe Microsoft will buy it.
They're buying everybody else? Yeah, why not? Throw them in the pile. A Game Pass
Yep.
exclusive. CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2078.
Yeah.
Okay, so talked about that. I know you haven't played many new games. Then here's my other question. I know on travel you did not take your Switch. When is the last time you actually used your Switch for a game? I know the game. I think it's that Mario game that you and I were playing together. The Mario remastered, not remastered. I don't know what the hell they called it. The three pack of 64.
Super Mario All Stars.
Is that what it was called? Yeah, 3D All Stars or whatever. Like, I assume that's the
When did
last time you touched it, right?
Yeah, when did that come out?
A while ago.
September? Yeah. I probably haven't played a game on my Switch since like October. You know why? They don't fucking release games for
That
it.
was this is what I was going to ask you. We've talked a lot on the show about the PlayStation 5. Touched a little bit on Xbox, not as much. And here we are again. We are now swinging into 2021. There's rumors that there will be a Nintendo Direct soon in the next week or two, but they're just rumors right now. Um, they are just, I guess, counting money over there because they have really not done a lot in a long time.
I mean, what did they do last year? Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing was their big release back in July, I want to say. That like June, July-ish. And then we got the Mario 35 celebration, which fell incredibly flat. They offered that Mario speedrun game, and then this remastered. Not I keep saying remastered. It wasn't remastered. A direct port of the old Mario games, and that was it.
Dude, those games looked like shit.
They ran like shit. That's the problem. They did
Dude,
not run well.
like I had to stop playing Super Mario 64. I was so disappointed, and that was a full price game, dude. I got hosed for $60.
We knew, but see, okay, so here's what I want, and this is fueled by my love again. Back to the speedrun shirt. This is my fueled for love of speedruns and watching some of these classic games. I would be really happy if we got a port. I would like a remaster, but I think I'll settle with a port of Metroid Prime's trilogy on the Switch. Just bring it over. Don't change anything. Just bring it over. I think I'd be okay with that. I would enjoy that for me.
Yeah. Well, you're a huge Samus
I'm a
fan.
huge fan of Samus. Yes. Outside of that, I don't know when I will turn on my Nintendo Switch again. I was playing Mario Kart Live, home. What the hell do they even call it? Home Circuit Live for what I called the Butt 500, where I had the little car and I was driving around the dog. That was fun. I beat it. I unlocked everything. I knew it was not a long game. It was not. I did everything. I'm done with that game. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I knew it was going to be a gimmick, and it was a gimmick. It's proudly sitting on my shelf collecting dust now. Um, I we keep talking about this, fabled Breath of the Wild 2 at some point. I just look at the amount, exactly. I look at the amount of Nintendo IP. Kid Icarus, Metroid, Star Fox, F Zero, Pilot Wings, all these just juicy IPs that are just dying on the vine. Um, I don't understand Nintendo's. They're doing the same thing they did on every other console. They're letting the Switch die. They did this on the GameCube. They did this on the Wii. They're doing it on the Wii U. They did it on the Wii U. They're doing it on the Switch. They let these consoles come out. They release one or two games and they let them die. I don't know why we keep falling for this.
Because they release fun different consoles for $200.
I mean, is that where we're at now? Like, is that what we need? They need to say, hey, look, we're going to have Switch 3 or whatever, Switch 2.0 Pro, and it's going to come with a new game. And everyone's like, yeah, Nintendo. Because, like, Switch blew up and then it just died. And if you look at the history of these Nintendo games and the launches, they do not support legacy consoles well. I'm not saying that I wouldn't call the Switch a legacy console at this point, but we haven't had a lot from them in a long, long time. Really. And this is, with the amount of franchises I name, plus probably a billion more we could collectively come up with. Like, what are these guys doing? What is possibly going on? What are they working? Are they working on anything? Or are they just hanging out?
I think that they're more than anything, they're just counting on FOMO. They're just counting on people to want the newest, nicest thing. And people have been playing with the Switch for a while. The Switch Pro is going to come out, and it's going to be like, by the way, you can cast it right to your TV, and you can do multiplayer with it or whatever. You can watch Netflix on it. It's another Netflix machine. All the stuff that it can't do now that it really should do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guess we'll have to see. Is there any old Switch franchise or Nintendo franchise that you want? What are you laughing about?
Dude, we're limping to this 60-minute mark.
Oh no, I'm getting ready to wrap up. I have one more thing to talk about after this. But my question, this will not be a 60-minute show, unless it's just 20 minutes of laughing at my hair, which we could go back to that. My question for you is, what Nintendo like franchise? Is there any legacy franchise you want to see? And I'll go first if you can't come up with one. Um, is there anything that you're burning? Like, man, I really need a new blank.
I think a new Luigi's Mansion would be fun. I think a new Star Fox would be
That's
fun.
what I was gonna say. Star Fox.
Honestly, I'd just be happy with Breath of the Wild 2 at this point. So
We'll see.
I'd be happy if they came out with a game that wasn't Pokemon at all.
We will see. Um, last thing, and then we'll wrap up for this week. But question for you: PlayStation Now is about 2 months old. Next week it'll be 2 months old. I know you haven't played it in like a week or so, a little over a week. Um, Up until then, do you think that a lot of the problems have been fixed?
No, I'm still scared to look at that thing.
So I don't know if I'm in the minority here or how I'm in the minority, I should say. I have thankfully had no issues with it running on the external hard drive. The only thing I still don't use is rest mode, and I don't think I'll ever use it again just because I'm nervous about that. But I think all the hard drive issues, the crashes, the weirdness, it's largely been fixed, which is good. I mean, it should be.
Yeah. It kind of sucks that we can't use rest mode though, because that's how the thing keeps itself updated.
Right? Like,
It's like a big thing.
we haven't had a big PlayStation patch because remember when you got back from vacation, you're like, hey, turn on my console and like nothing updated. And I was like, nothing's updated. It's been pretty quiet. Like, there's nothing going on. I mean, it's that lull. It's that lull of January, February, really after the holidays, where people starting to get back to work. The Game Awards wrapped up. You're starting to get into ramping up for something greater, and you probably really it's going to be I would say it's going to be slow news weeks probably till about March. We'll start to get some E3 leaks, if assuming they are doing E3. But until then, it will be slow for sure.
Fair enough. How you doing with Assassin's Creed?
I am over. We played again today. This is the first time we've played a couple days because I've been taking some time with the speed run and the dog and stuff. I think we're 110 hours in.
Still fun?
Yeah, it is. Getting some of those legendary weapons radically changes the way you play the game. What I really appreciate about this game, and I know I've said this before, they do a really good job of making every quest feel very different from the other ones. Particularly the main storyline of each continent or whatever city, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
It's really fun because what you end up having is like the zone we were in before was very contentious. It was a big revolution, a lot of war between these two groups. You had to side with one, but it's kind of an overthrow. The zone we're in now, it's totally different. It's very chill. There's not a lot of combat. It's a lot more dialogue and exploration stuff. Like it feels like a different game every time I play it, and I think that's what's keeping me hooked.
I think I think I'm going to dive back into it this week or next week, and I think I'm going to spend some time just doing the main quest because I think I overwhelmed myself trying to do all the side stuff, and because I wasn't totally in love with the character and in the game,
Right.
I let myself get bogged down in it. I think I'm going to try to blast through like 10 or 15 hours of the main story quest and see if I can get myself really immersed. And if I can, great, I'll go do some side stuff and occupy myself. If not, I'll finish the game and say that I beat it and move on from it.
Yeah, the way we have been playing, the way that was worked for us at least. We do the main story of each area first. Then we go back and we do 100% clear of everything else just in that zone. So it's the main stories maybe 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours each area. The side stuff is probably twice that time. Running around collecting every piece of wealth, every artifact. Um, I think what made it fun was realizing that some of the wealth fed into other things, like some of these legendary weapons and armor sets and stuff. It requires you to do that kind of full clear, and you don't know which one you're gonna like find. I mean, I guess you could use a guide, but if you're just like us, just playing, you'll stumble across things, and it's like, oh, I need 3 keys to open this chest, and then just through exploration in that area, you find all 3 keys, and you go back, and it's this like awesome piece of gear, and you're like, whoa, that was rewarding. But yeah, doing that without understanding, I don't know. Eivor is a stiff character. I will say that. I think for me, you're playing as a guy, girl, it doesn't matter. They are a stiff character. There's a lot of over the top bravado and machismo that's just doesn't really need to be. You can't be the smartest, the fastest, the best, the strongest, the best fighter, the best fighter. You just can't be all that. I never felt, I have yet to feel threatened in the game from a narrative perspective. Definitely not from combat. We're max level, but from a narrative perspective, I've never felt like Eivor couldn't figure everything out perfectly. I never felt like Eivor was in danger. I never felt like I wasn't going to solve the problem or fix the mystery, and it does make for a very bland game, story wise.
Certainly not Black Flag.
It's certainly not the Jackdaw, that's for sure. Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I don't know if, despite the fact, like I just said, that they do have these really good instance zones where the story is interesting, but it's not interesting because of Eivor. It's interesting because everything else other than Eivor. It's all the other NPCs you meet. It's their trials, their tribulations, you watching and observing kind of what happens. I remember in the old Assassin's Creed games, you were never the focus of a lot of stuff. Like, I think the scene that for me that really comes to mind was Assassin's Creed 3. Like, you were there when they were signing like the declaration and stuff. You were watching, but you didn't sign it because you were just observing. You were part of history, but you weren't always in history. I feel like in this Assassin's Creed, they threw that out the window and they said, okay, everything's going to happen because Eivor made it happen. Eivor came in, killed the king. Eivor saved the day. Eivor spoiled the plot. We're going to sing Eivor's name in Valhalla, blah, 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 whatever. Like, it's too much. Like, it's frustrating in the narrative perspective that you're good at everything. You shouldn't be. There should be some hook. You should fail. You should lose. You should suffer defeat because that makes for a compelling story.
Yeah, I just want Eivor to bang the redheaded chick.
Randvi,
Yeah, whoever, the buddy's wife.
our Eivor and Randvi are together.
Spoiler.
Not a spoiler. She's all over you. How's that a spoiler?
The guy's not dead. Her husband's not dead in my game, so I don't know what happens to him.
Maybe he's there too.
Viking thruple? Wow.
I love the overuse of the. Well, let me ask you this: when you sail, when you're exploring, I know you haven't played in a while. Do you tend to constantly call the long ship and sail around, or are you walking and using your mount to navigate?
Equal mix of both.
Okay, so when you're on the long ship, do you listen to the tales instead of the songs?
No, they just usually start singing. I didn't know I could pick between the two.
Yeah, I think it pops up. It's like R1 or something. The tales are hysterically bad. If you're expecting like Mimir level dialogue like in God of War, when you heard these compelling stories and you get to your checkpoint but you didn't get one out of the boat because you wanted to hear the end of the story, you're not getting that in this game. You're going to hear a lot of rowdy people talking about plowing. If I had a nickel for every time I heard the word plow in this game, I could retire. It's very, very dirty, raunchy, filthy Viking sex talk. That's all it ever is. It's always about sex. And I don't know why it makes me laugh because like it just really plays into the narrative of this game that like, you know, I went and I banged so and so's wife and everything was great. And I'm like, of course you did, because you're a perfect chatty daddy. Like you're the best ever. You're the strongest. You're the best. You're the strong. Like it's too much. Like I need to see some defeat and some suffering in that game, and I don't think it's gonna happen. We are close to the end. It's pretty laid out what's gonna happen, and so far, Eivor is the alpha. Period, and it's just Eivor's world.
Hey, Eivor
Hey,
Wolfkissed. God bless.
hey. Well, you got to get to the Ranvi thing. You got to let me know how that goes out and how that goes down for you.
Well,
Because
no,
remember, I'm a female.
yeah, knowing Ubisoft, I won't get to see any of the fun stuff.
I will say so far, I have seen one boob and a butt. Not both boobs, one boob and a butt. That's all I've
Okay.
seen. I don't know what I expect to see. I don't really feel like I need to see anything, but that's all I've seen so far. It's a lot of fade to black. It's like, oh, you want to have fun? Yes. And then they just reappear like 2 seconds later in the exact same spot, like nobody's moved. I'm like, come on.
Well, all right, my little chatty daddy wage cock.
Yep. Well, it's been fun, man. I'm glad we're going to start getting in the swing of things. This was mostly a test of the new overlay and your new laptop, which looks great. Did you install
Thanks. Bob.
Steam yet?
No, I forgot until right now.
Till right now. I did create a new ending card for you. Do you want to use it or do you want me to just cut to the end? Do you have anything you want to say?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
you do.
actually
You
had
do.
one.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not funny, but I'm gonna say
All
it.
right, so I'm going to press this button. It's going to fade to just Phil, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If not, that's okay. We had fun.
I got mine.
I got mines. Here we go, and we're jumping over to Phil for the infamous Phil's farewell.
Thanks for joining us today, folks. I just want to say that much like Nintendo isn't going to give you a fucking game this year, you're awesome. Never change it.